What is going on, Arizona sports fan family? How are we doing out here today on this Monday morning, ladies and gentlemen? Big shout out to the people that are currently in the chat right now. How is everybody doing? Happy Monday morning. The Arizona Cardinals have a game in about 6 days. This coming Saturday is going to be the next preseason game for the Arizona Cardinals. And y'all, this preseason is different. I don't know what it is, ladies and gentlemen, but this preseason is absolutely different. I feel like there's a sense of excitement because of the new regime, because of what we saw in week one. We're going to dive into everything today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about the return of Zach Ertz and what the report has come down and said. We're going to be talking about, did the Arizona Cardinal fans get too hyped up over week one? We're going to be talking about that here pretty soon because I'm seeing a lot of people out there, a lot of fans. I'm not sure if they're Cardinal fans or if they're Bronco fans, but a lot of people went on my comments and said, it's week one, chill. And then we're going to be diving into who impressed you in week one and who are you excited about for the rest of the preseason about possibly making this 53-man roster moving forward. Now, let's go ahead and dive into it, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Big shout out to the people that are currently in the chat right now. We got Michael, we got Jonathan, we got Austin, Tempest, Raphael, CB. What's up? I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's dive right into it. We got some breaking news coming out here of the world of the Arizona Cardinals, and that is this: that Zach Ertz most likely will be available for week one of the regular season. Hallelujah. Can we get a hallelujah in the chat here, ladies and gentlemen? This is huge news for the Arizona Cardinals, being that we are going to be down most likely Kyler Murray. It's just being that we're coming back healthier and healthier is just huge news for the Cardinals. Now let's dive into this report here. It does come from Mike Garafolo, and it says this: almost 9 months after tearing his ACL and MCL, Arizona Cardinals tight end Zach Ertz has been cleared for full football activity and is on track to start week one, sources say. The three-time Pro Bowler was on pace for 86 catches, 745 yards, and 8 touchdowns before injuring his knee in week 10. Now, we all know what a abysmal season we had last year. It was absolute disaster to see how it ended, right? The Arizona Cardinals couldn't win more than 5 games. It was a bad showing here for the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm just happy that we're going to be getting a premier weapon back, right, in Zach Ertz. Now, I've heard already Cardinal fans out there, or maybe Broncos fans, we're not 100% sure who are they, right? There's always those fans out there that are a little bit, pessimistic more than anything, just saying things like, hey, Zach Ertz isn't it, right? He's not going to provide us anything. I beg to differ. I absolutely beg to differ. Although, yes, Zach Ertz is getting up there, right? He's aged a year more. He's currently 32 years old as of right now. I still think he has it. Now, to me, do I feel like Zach Ertz is going to be the playmaker that he was with the Eagles, right? Or maybe the first year with the Arizona Cardinals? Maybe not, but he still gives us a reliable weapon for whatever quarterback's back there, right? A swing guy, right? Even if we do try to get Trey McBride to be the next tight end for the future, it's great to have a guy like Zach Ertz in the locker room. It's great to have a guy like Zach Ertz sitting on the bench and coaching up these young guys. Like that's things that people don't think about. Like, it's great to have him suited up, right? And ready to go. And I think that's kind of what adds the value of Zach Ertz coming back. I think it's a huge addition, right? Getting your reliable playmaker up the middle again, right? Whether it's Clayton Tune or Colt McCoy, I think it's a it's a dream made in heaven. It's huge. It's absolutely huge, especially with the recovery that he had to go through, a huge season injury, ending injury that ended up happening last year, right? So it's really huge for Zach Ertz to be coming back. We do got some contributions coming our way. We got AZ Fan. What's up, brother? He says Arizona Cardinals are going to take the league by storm. Love it, man. I love the optimism. Let's keep it going. We got a new channel member, Fosto, in the house with the new channel membership. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much. Let's get to this contribution here from Jason. He says, what's up, Mike? I love this regime. Let's go. Yes, I love the regime too. I truly do. And we're going to be diving into fans' reactions about week 1 preseason here right after this segment. So definitely stay tuned because there's a lot of people that are saying the Cardinals are getting way too hyped up, right? The Cardinal fans. So we're going to dive into that here pretty soon. So continue to talk about this breaking news that we had earlier this morning with Zach Ertz. It's a step in the right direction, y'all. I know when people look at our roster, they're like, oh, this is an ugly roster. We got weapons. We got weapons, ladies and gentlemen. We do. Believe it or not, we got weapons. Zach Ertz is a weapon. Marquise Hollywood Brown is a weapon. Rondell Moore, although I want to believe he can be healthy for an entire year, he can be a weapon, right? Greg Dortch, a weapon. Michael Wilson, hopefully a weapon, right? Zach Pascal, weapon. So, and that's not to mention our backfield, James Conner, as long as he can stay healthy. We got some really good pieces here. Now, the offensive line for preseason 1, was I impressed? I feel like I was a little bit more impressed with the defensive line more than it was with our offensive line. Now, yes, I do feel like they held their own, but there was some moments of complete pressure, but it's so hard to gauge, right? It's so hard to gauge an offensive line because of their very minimal reps in terms of the starters, very minimal reps that they're getting in a preseason game. So I'm not going to go out here and say they didn't do a good job, but I want to see them get better and better as the weeks go through. I guess we'll put it that way. But we got weapons, y'all. That's all I can say about that. We got the weapons to contend. We saw the San Francisco 49ers get destroyed by the Raiders. And I'm not sure if you guys heard, but the San Francisco 49er fans are not happy, right? They're already panicking. Even though it's a week 1 of preseason, they're already over there panicking because Trey Lance doesn't look to be that 3rd overall pick in the NFL draft that they ended up drafting him in. So they're over there panicking about week 1. I don't know, man. It's just, there's a level of excitement. Like, now I get it, right? We have seen a Detroit Lions team be undefeated in preseason and absolutely get walloped in the regular season. I get it, right? I get that there is that level of expectation of just because you are a good preseason team doesn't mean you're going to be a good regular season team. I get it. But what excites people is the new regime. And that's what's exciting people. There is some things to be excited about Clayton Tune. There's some things about it to be excited about David Blau, right? Some people actually ask me, do I feel like David Blau should be over Clayton Tune in the depth chart? To me, I'll give flowers to where flowers is due. I think David Blau had a fantastic 2-minute drill, and he had a really good time during his opportunities that was given to him. I'll give his flowers. I truly would. But I do think that David Blau was playing against 3rd to 4th stringers while Clayton Tune was playing against 2nd and 3rd stringers, which to me, there is a big difference, right? Now, the flowers are still given to David Blau, but I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are going to be giving the leg up to David Blau over a Clayton Tune, right? Especially because there's more upside. There's more promise. There's more future for a Clayton Tune to develop to become that guy that hopefully people want him to become. And as of right now, is a really good, reliable backup quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Let's get to AZ Fan Super Chat here. He says, do you think Tune will start or Kyler come back? It's hard to say. To me, that's a good question. I'm in the boat of I want Clayton Tune to start week 1. I'm in that boat. But I still do want Clayton Tune to develop more and more week 2 and week 3 of preseason games. I think he did a good job for the very first game, right? The first time he was suited up in a preseason game. I think Clayton Tune did a good job, but there is room for better, right? There's room for better. So if he can continue to develop and be that guy for us, heck yeah, I would choose Clayton Tune over Colt McCoy in a heartbeat. Now, somebody reached out to me and said that Clayton Tune didn't look so good Colt McCoy is the guy. We got to put this in perspective here, right? Because Clayton Tune had more playing time, right? So we saw a bigger sample size to what we saw to Colt McCoy. And the other way that I like to think of it as Colt McCoy is not the future, right? Colt McCoy isn't a guy that's going to be with us for 2 or 3+ years, right? Clayton Tune can be that guy. He truly, truly can be that guy and could be that reliable backup for Kyler Murray. Now, right now, Kyler Murray is our quarterback, right? Because there's one thing that I mentioned in that latest video that I posted about Clayton Tune was that Clayton Tune really struggled with those out routes. I seen at least, is it 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 out passes that he was giving to, whether it was Greg Dortch or another wide receiver. He was sailing those balls. So he definitely has some things to work on. But I think that there is still some promise with a Clayton Tune moving forward. So that's just kind of my opinion. Do I want Clayton Tune to start? Yes, I do. Week 1 of regular season, but I'm going to leave it up to the hands of these reliable, coaches that we have right now, which so far is getting fans very, very excited about this regular season. And like I mentioned on the last live stream that we had, ladies and gentlemen, we're opening up the season against the Washington Commanders, the Giants, and the Cowboys. That's who we're starting this season with. The Washington Commanders, the Giants, and the Cowboys. We can win some of those games. So for the people out there that are saying the Cardinals aren't going to win more than 3 games this year, we can start off the season 2-1. I'm fully confident that if Kyler Murray comes back week 3, Kyler Murray owns the Cowboys. I'm confident. Even if we lose against the Giants, but we beat the Commanders, I think the Cardinals can actually get a pretty good leg up in the first 3 weeks. Now, are they going to fall, right, and break down towards the end of the season? I don't know, right? I still want to see what week 1 of regular season looks like because there's just a lot of promise, especially after week 1. So let's segue into this. Let's segue into the fans' reaction, right? Because I don't know how to begin to tell you guys right now how many people were saying I am overreacting about week 1 of preseason, which, hindsight, they could be right? Hindsight, they could be right. But the fans' reaction to week 1, how do you guys feel out there, right? People in the chat, do you guys truly feel like, hey, it's preseason? It's not going to, translate? Or do you think that this was a huge win for the Arizona Cardinals? Let me know in the chat, and I'll kind of give you my opinion. Because, yes, when you're looking at a post-game reaction video, right, sometimes the hypeness gets ahead of you, right? And I'm fully aware. I'm guilty of being pretty hyped up making that post-game reaction video that I released on Friday after the game. One of the biggest reasons, obviously, is because I was at the game. So you kind of get the excitement of so much fans being excited, right? A, that football's back, and then B, that your young rookie quarterback threw a touchdown. So there's some excitement from that. I was pumped up from some juice. So do I think this translates to the regular season? No, I don't. I don't think it translates, but I do think it's a huge win for the Arizona Cardinals. And here's a couple reasons why. To me, when Jonathan Gannon came out and said this about the game plan, and he actually put his money where his mouth was, this is what exactly excites me. Let's go ahead and dive right into what Jonathan Gannon said. I think this was Thursday's press conference. Let's go and dive right into it.
Players and not playing their foundational guys. Does it matter that you win these games starting this week?
Yeah, every time you strap it up and go in between the white lines, you want to win the game. So that's always the number one goal.
That's the number one goal every single time. That's what got me excited, right? Putting your money where your mouth is. Where, yes, I agree. It was preseason, right? It was preseason. Let me just throw this in here. Russell Wilson is absolutely what? That man does not look good. Russell Wilson looks bad. The Seahawks look very, very, very smart. Very smart. Just going to put that out there. Yes, I get that this was a week 1 preseason game. I'm fully aware. But the way that the Arizona Cardinals won, when we're used to as Cardinal fans, right? Where if the Arizona Cardinals go down by 10 points, sometimes we've seen regimes or teams lay down, show their belly, and the game's over. We've seen that, right? We didn't see that this week. We saw a team that wanted to fight. We saw a team that wanted to play for their coach. We saw guys that wanted to really make a push for this 53-man roster. And that's what you got to do. You got to bring people in here that are trying to fight for this roster. Now, is it sometimes stacked up against some of these young guys? Yes, right? It's definitely sometimes stacked up against these young guys because of the idea of sometimes 53-man rosters are already set by the time we get into week 1 or week 2 of preseason. But there was definitely some things to be excited about. And that's that Dan Ricardo, hopefully I'm not butchering his that running back. Huge. Going for the 2-point conversion, huge. That David Blau 2-minute drill, huge. Right? We're seeing a team that didn't give up. And I think that's what other fans aren't seeing, right? That they're not seeing why we are actually excited. We're not excited that we won a preseason game. Is that we were down, and at one point our offense looked but we came up, right? It would be very easy for us to go down by 7 to a Broncos team that has a Sean Payton over there as their head coach. It would be easy for us to say, okay, it's over, right? It's done. Let's pack it up. It's preseason. No worries. No. The Cardinals came back and they fought. And that's what's exciting. That's what's exciting to me. Because Jonathan Gannon came out here, put his money where his mouth was, and he went for that 2-point conversion, and he got it. He won. Put his money where his mouth was, and he did it, and he won. That's what got me excited about this. Now, granted, if he would have gone for it and he lost, we would still command the fight, right? Because it's preseason. This is the time for you to experiment and those type of things. Regular season, he might not have done it. Probably. He might have not have. But I think the idea of the Arizona Cardinals team that is hungry, that is willing to fight, that wants to win, that's how you build culture. That's how you build culture. Yes, the Ravens are out there with a crazy amount of, what is it, their record? Their record is crazy right now with the amount of preseason games that they won. There's so many seasons that the Ravens have been undefeated with the preseason. Have they won a Super Bowl? No, they haven't, right? But it's culture. It's culture. It's getting these guys to come in here and buying into the idea that this new regime knows exactly what they're doing. And as long as they can do their job, we have a fair chance of winning. We have a fair chance of winning. So that's what we're excited about, at least for me. Let me get to this contribution. Jonathan coming up clutch with a $10 dono. What's up, brother? He says, it is huge, and it does matter because it's emphasizing JG's mentality of winning every time you step on the field, and it makes players believe in the program. Oh, you couldn't have summed it up better. You're right. You're 100% right. Do you know how many regimes have come out here and said preseason doesn't matter, right? A lot. And I'm not just talking about the Cardinals. I'm talking about a lot of organizations. A lot of organizations have come out and said preseason doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about it. Every game matters. Every single game matters because it's a mindset. It's a mindset, truly. Really talk to some of these athletes out there, right? Some of these athletes out there, sometimes, just sit down and talk to them if you have the privilege to do so. It's a mindset. Do you believe in the organization? Do you believe in what the coaches are preaching? One of the biggest reasons on the downfall of last year's regime or the 4-year experiment that we're going through was that most of the players didn't believe. They didn't believe in it. If we went down, there was no hope. Now, there's a little hope out there. Now, there's a little hope out there that the Arizona Cardinals can be in these games. Obviously, we want to see week 1. Week 1 can't get here fast enough, right? I want the Commanders. Give me the Commanders right now. I want week 1 now, but we got to go through the bumps and bruises. We got to go through week 2. We got to go through week 3 of preseason. It's just one of those things. But the alternative, what's the alternative, right? The alternative would be not winning. I'm excited. I don't think fans were overreacting in my mind. Be as happy as you possibly can be for a couple other reasons. You know how many times we won preseason, or you know how many times we won a home game last year? Once. We didn't do good. I was a season ticket holder last year, and it was so bad that every single time that I went to a game, which I think I went to like 5 or 6 of them, if I could do my if I can remember correctly, we didn't win very many. Give me a home win. Let's bring those home wins back. That's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm excited about. So yes, preseason is preseason. I get it. But still, a huge win. Huge win for the culture. Huge win for the JG regime. Huge win. And if we win week 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs, yeah, you better bet your bottom dollar that we're probably going to get very, very, very excited still. Very, very excited still. Jonathan coming up clutch here with another dono. What's up, brother? Appreciate the contribution, my dude. He says other coaches would have settled for a tie, not JG. He wants to win. Big risk, big rewards. I love it. I love it. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I know expectations for most people that aren't Cardinal fans. Most expectations for most Cardinal fans. And I'm also, grouping in Vegas. I'm also grouping in the national media. They're bypassing the Arizona Cardinals, right? They are. They're bypassing the Arizona Cardinals. But the Arizona Cardinals, looking at the roster, although, yes, we got some aging vets, we still got some weapons. Believe it or not, we still got some weapons. Let's look at our division real quick. Let's look at our division. But before we jump into who impressed you week 1 of preseason, let's jump into our division real quick. Who's in our division? San Francisco 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Rams. I'm not saying we're going to win the division. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that. But the 49ers, we got the 49er fan base right now panicking that Trey Lance isn't the guy. You know how much people I've heard saying Trey Lance looked terrible. Sam Darnold looked better. People are already panicking. I know, week 1, right? Week 1 of preseason. We got a fan base over there freaking out, and we're over here happy. Got Trey Lance, Brock Purdy. We don't know who's going to be their quarterback. People are already not believing in their franchise quarterback in Trey Lance. We got the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith, which, let's be honest, overachieved last year. Overachieved, and I don't expect him to do it again, but I could be surprised. We'll see. And then we got the Rams, which we have a Matthew Stafford, which unfortunately, I'm not trying to put any will ill on anybody, right? Injuries, but he's getting older. And I don't know if I trust Matthew Stafford to stay healthy. I truly don't. So, I mean, I feel like we could win a couple of those games in the division. We always play the 49ers hard. The Rams, we've beaten them, right, once or twice during the Cliff Kingsbury experiment. The Seahawks, I feel like we play them hard too. Especially here, we beat them here, or we beat them there, they beat us here. I feel like it's a split. So, I mean, we could probably win some more games than people think. Let's get to Alex's super chat. He says, so do you think there's a chance of playoffs? I'm not going to go there yet. I still want to see what the Arizona Cardinals can do week 1, week 2, and then week 3. I think there's still a lot to tell here. I'm excited. So let's not get it twisted. What I'm excited about is this new regime putting their money where their mouth is. That's what I'm excited about. Yes, I'm excited about the win too. And I'm excited about what these young guys are doing, right? Your Michael Wilsons, your Clayton Tunes, your Dermercado, the running back that we have, Taysom Williams, right? That other kid that we have looked pretty good. We didn't see BJ Ojolari, but we saw Dennis Gardeck, although not a young player, but Dennis Gardeck got a sack. We saw Cameron Thomas get a sack. I mean, hey, there's an option here, man. There's an option. Although, yes, I want to see a little bit more, but It's exciting. And just put it that way. Let me get to this last contribution here, and then we're going to be jumping into who impressed you of week 1, because I'm excited to kind of hear these names out here. So if you guys don't mind already, definitely put those names in the chat here below. Who impressed you in week 1 of preseason, and who are you excited about, week 2 and then week 3 of preseason? Let me know in the chat. AZ fan with another contribution. He says, watching the game on Friday gave me hope as an Arizona Cardinal fan again. It felt good to be excited over the ending of that game. I believe JG and Monty were perfect hires for this team. Let's effing go. I agree. And I'm one of those guys, right, that admit when I'm kind of wrong. I can admit it. Right now, as of right now, JG's looking like a good hire. And we beat Sean Payton. That's huge, right? The guy that I wanted, Sean Payton. I get it. It doesn't translate, right? Preseason doesn't usually translate to regular season. I get it. But it does build culture. It does build culture. And I think that's one thing that most Cardinal fans are excited about. It builds culture. Win. Every game is important. Every game is important. Now, I think a lot of Cardinal fans right now are saying 3, 4, 5 wins because they don't want to set themselves up, right? They don't want to set themselves up for failure, right? And I get it. You're never disappointed if you don't expect anything, right? I get it. It's an easy way to think. Nah, I'm going for blood, y'all. I'm going for blood. I want to see this team do good. I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm not even saying playoffs. But if we can be a competent team that is winning games against good teams, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So, step in the right direction. We got Zach Ertz back. Most likely will be playing week 1 of the regular season. I don't see him coming back anytime in the preseason. It doesn't make sense, especially since he had that big injury. I personally don't think that you should be expecting Zach Ertz to play preseason. Week 1 of regular season, if he's ready to go, suit him up, let's go. Suit him up, let's go. So there's that. Now, let's dive into here. Let's go ahead and change topics here real quick. Let's dive into who impressed you. Who impressed you of week 1 of preseason? Who impressed you guys? Is there a guy out there that nobody's talking about that you're saying, oh my God, this guy did really, really good? And Mike's over here ignoring everything about him. Who impressed you of week 1 of regular season? Now, I did mention this earlier in the stream that to me, I think our offensive line did decent, right? I think they did decent. I was a little bit more impressed with our defensive line than I was with our offensive line. And for the simple fact that, hey, we got, 2 sacks total, right? I think Cameron Thomas and then Dennis Garrett got the other sack. So it might have been a little skewed because of that. But there was also a play from LJ Collier, which was a former first-round pick of the Seattle Seahawks, which we've been seeing a lot so far. And y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those bat down balls where you're getting a big guy on the defensive line that can't get to the quarterback, and they know that already. They have established that they can't get to the quarterback, but they could still do a few things to rattle that guy up, cause pressure, and put your hand up and bat that ball down. We've seen, at least 2 or 3 in this last preseason game where the coaches are coaching these guys up saying, if you get to the quarterback, okay. But one thing that you can do is be cognizant of what he's doing back there. And that's what? Putting your dang big mitts up in the air and trying to get that ball batted down. Risk for an interception, risk for them to waste a down because it's an incomplete pass. That's huge. That's huge. That impressed me. And yes, I get it. Week 1, preseason. But that really, really, really impressed me. I think their defensive line looked better than most people are giving them credit for. Now, there has been some times where we saw some runs go through, but for the most part, when they were trying to run the ball, I feel like the Cardinals did a really good job in stopping the run. They did a very good job in stopping the run. Even Zaven Collins got involved, coming off the edge, putting his mitts up in the air and knocking a ball down. Like, it's It's something that this coaching staff is really, really doing a good job in coaching these guys up. Really, really doing a good job in coaching these guys up. Someone in the chat says Matt Prater. Oof. I don't want to get started on Matt Prater. Y'all know where I stand with Matt Prater. Let's just continue to hope that he can get better and better and be more consistent. We've seen Matt Prater miss a few last year. He missed one this last game, and I just hope that he can, I don't want to say learn from it, but we need to have a little bit more consistency. We'll just put it that way. Someone in the chat says, Control Clark, the cornerback. Okay. Now, I do want to give a little bit of flowers to Antonio Hamilton for getting that interception, right? I think he also did call, wasn't he the one who got that really bad PI call? I think that was Antonio Hamilton. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. But he did get an INT. That was huge. LJ Collier, although on the stat sheet doesn't look like he did very much, but I don't know. I liked his presence out there. I think he did a pretty good job. Victor Dimikichi had a tackle. Rashad Lawrence, tackle, right? Our cornerbacks looked all right. We did get an interception. That was cool. Somebody in the chat says CB didn't look bad. I agree. I agree with the week one of that. I agree with that. With preseason, it's so hard to tell, especially because we're not playing the number ones for a long time. But I do think that Russell Wilson is not it anymore. I think he's lost his juice. Russell Wilson's bad. He ain't good. He's lost it. Somebody in the chat says, bring back Zane Gonzalez. Sheesh. Bring back Zane Gonzalez. At this point, right? Let's talk about Corey Clement for a second. On the stat sheet, Corey Clement had 6 runs, 15 carries. 6 runs, 15 carries. 3 catches and then 13 yards. I think he ran the ball pretty hard. The two guys that really stick out on running the ball in this game, Tyson Williams with 10 carries, 51 yards, average 5.1 yards a carry. And then Amari DiMercado, 6 carries, 21 yards. And I believe he was the one who got our 2-point conversion. So Hamilton having a savage season, calling it. I hope so. I think we're really banking on the fact that we got Antonio Hamilton and Marco Wilson. I think that's what the Cardinals are banking their buck on right now. That's what they're banking their buck on. That we got Antonio Hamilton and then we got Marco Wilson. Am I comfortable with it? Not extremely. But I like the idea of obviously Isaiah Simmons, which they actually said he's going to be playing more safety than anything. But Garrett Williams, right? There's some upside there with Garrett Williams. Rashad Fenton. Don't really know too much of that guy. Christian Matthew, I feel like we've seen him. Control Clark, we saw him a little bit. I want to see what Garrett Williams can do. He's been out. He's been hurt. And it's not with the Cardinals. He's been hurt since we drafted him. I think he's still going to take some time to kind of get back into ready shape. But he can possibly be that guy for us when he's healthy. We'll see. We're going to be coming up against week 2 versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's going to be week 2 preseason, Saturday. I believe this game is at, let me just double check here real quick. I know it's Saturday. This game is going to be, let's see here. Do a quick Google search. 5 p.m. So it's going to be, it's not as late as week 1, but it's going to be a late game. This Saturday, August 19th, 5 p.m. AZ time. That's what we're going to be looking at against the Kansas City Chiefs. We can beat them. Woo! More excitement, ladies and gentlemen. More excitement. That's going to be here. and State Farm Stadium. Now, there is also going to be Cardinals versus the Vikings, which is week 3, and I believe that one is going to be at the Viking Stadium. So we got one more home game for preseason, and then away game, and then we wrap it up and get ready for the regular season, which obviously everybody's really excited about. Everybody's really excited about it. I'm excited about regular season. I want it to start now. Obviously, we got to wait. So, there's definitely some upside. Definitely some upside. David Blau surprised me, truly. Now, although I think David Blau had a really good end part of last season. Now, granted, hear me well when I say this. What team we were last year, David Blau did decent. I believe the last game or the last, I forgot the last one he played in, but he had a bad game that game. But I think he's decent. He's been a guy that's been in the league, so he knows kind of what to do, right, in the veteran side of it all. I definitely got to give kudos to where kudos is due, and that is the fact that David Blau had a really good 2-minute drill. Really good 2-minute drill. But I don't think the Cardinals are going to carry 4 quarterbacks, and I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are going to pick David Blau over Colt McCoy. Clayton Tune. Personally, I would rather have Clayton Tune start week 1, especially only if he continues to progress. If we see a continued progression of him in preseason, then I say ready to go. But as of right now, where it stands after week 1, although I think he did a pretty good job, right? Not great, but pretty good job. I think right now Colt McCoy is the starter for the Cardinals in week 1 right now. There's still week 2 and week 3 though. There's still week 2 and week 3. We do got a comment here. It's better to let the young players play, make mistakes, and develop. We don't need to see Hamilton as much since he's older and we know what he is. This year is about develop guys and implement the scheme. No, yeah, that's true. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I do want a Clayton Tune to start, right? Because you got to go through the bumps and bruises, right? You got to know what he's going to be. Colt McCoy isn't the future. We know that. Colt McCoy isn't going to be here for 3+ years. We know that. He's coming towards the tail end of his career. I believe he's got a broadcasting job already. It's either with the USFL or the XFL, or I know it's another league. But he's already starting to think outside off the field. And I think he knows it's kind of getting close. So we need to start thinking about who's going to be our backup quarterback to Kyler Murray. If that's it, right? If that's what we're looking for. So I agree. This is the time to allow them to get the bumps and bruises, right? Allow them to learn. That's really the only way they can learn and be able to make those mistakes. To get through those bumps and bruises. Is for them to learn. 100% right. Got somebody in the chat said, Zaven Collins. I'm so excited to see what Zaven Collins is going to do on the edge. So excited to see what Zaven Collins is going to do on the edge. Did he get a sack this week 1? No, he didn't, right? But you can see the explosion. You can see the big frame body work, right? You can see it. He's got the potential to do something here. I think the edge position for the Arizona Cardinals is one of the most intriguing ones to me. One of the most intriguing ones because we got a lot of young people. A lot of young people. And it's just going to be who's going to step up, right? Who's going to step up? That's going to be the biggest question out there. Who's going to step up? We got Victor Dimikici, Majay Sanders, Cameron Thomas, now Zaven, Dennis Gardick. We got some hope. Although, I hope that BJ Ojulari gets the option to do a outside linebacker type of, edge rusher. Per the depth chart, it looks like the Arizona Cardinals might have him as the will linebacker. It's not for sure, right? It's not 100% in stone. But they're tinkering with the idea of that. We'll see. Somebody in the chat says Control Clark. Yeah, I want to see more. Give me more. Give me more. Give me week 2, week 3. Heck, give me week 1 of regular season. That's what I truly want. That's what I truly want. So we definitely saw some flashes. We saw some flashes from some young guys. We saw some culture shifting from this Cardinals organization, which is exactly what we're looking for, right? Now, this kind of brings me into what I was talking about. Well, I guess not really what I was talking about. Let's segue this over to what the Cardinals can actually become, right? What can we be? Because I understand. I've heard the pessimistic people. I've heard the optimistic people out there. What is your expectation? What is your expectation of this Arizona Cardinals team for 2023? What is your expectation? And you can put a simple number in the chat if you want to. That's up to you. But expectations can be playoffs. Expectations can be 5 wins, 6 wins, 3 wins, 4. What do you think the Cardinals are going to be this year? Now, to me, we talked a little bit earlier in the stream about the Arizona Cardinals possibly being a team that nobody's talking about, right? That so many people has written off already. But we're still a team with weapons. Aging weapons, yes, but we still have weapons, right? Marquise, Zach Ertz, if he can stay healthy, Rondell Moore, Greg Dortch, hopefully Michael Wilson. We know what can make this offense explode, especially if we have a top 5 pick in next year's draft. We know what can make our offense explode, right? I'm talking about the wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr. We know what can make it explode. But honestly, I think this Arizona Cardinal organization was just lacking a real scheme, real leadership, and the actual person to come out here and put these players in the best positions to win. I'm always going to remember this. Always going to remember this because this comment gave Kyler Murray so much backlash from the national media. This kind of struck up the whole, I told you, nobody can coach Kyler Murray, right? He's coming out here and throwing his coach under the bus. Do y'all remember this? Let's play this. Let's play this clip.
Resulted in interception.
Yeah.
Did you like the call? Did you feel like you had Hop?
No, it wasn't. That wasn't for Hop actually. Schematically, I mean, we were kind of fucked.
Schematically, we were kind of effed. This doesn't tell me that this quarterback, our franchise quarterback, truly believed in our coach has the best interest of this organization, right? That's what it told me. It told me that we had the players out here. It has the players out here to become a good offense. We just couldn't figure it out. The regime couldn't figure it out. We got the weapons. We have them. We just got to put them together. We've seen teams come out of nowhere, right? We've seen teams come out of nowhere, have nobodies, and have a name for themselves, right? We've seen them. Cardinals can be more than a 2-win team, 3-win team. The only thing that I want, truly, is that the Texans are a 0-win team, right? 1-win team. That's what I want. Stroud didn't look too good in week 1 of preseason. He didn't. I want the Texans to be a 3-win team, 2-win team. Get them the first overall pick, because that only benefits the Arizona Cardinals. I don't like the idea of tanking, truly, because if this is indeed what the new regime is going to be, right, you want to win. That's what Jonathan Gannon wants. You need to win. Put the hungry guys out there. Put the guys that want to win. That's what you need. Kyler Murray said we were systematically effed. Systematically effed. And I still remember that. It was a 4th and short, right? It was like, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, something like that. 4th and 1, 4th. It was a short. And we threw the ball deep. Now, Kyler might have some to blame too. Yeah, I'm not saying it's all on the last regime. Kyler does have some blame to that as well. But let's just hope that this new regime can get these guys playmakers that we have, because we still have playmakers. I get Zach Ertz is 32. I get it. But I still do think he could be a reliable guy up the middle. I still do think he can be a reliable guy up the middle. Let's go ahead and read some predictions here real quick. We got Michael saying 7 wins. We got saying 6 wins. No F's given, saying 6 wins. 7 wins with gaming. Classy Nasty 98 wins. AZ fan says Arizona going to the playoffs 10-7. Woo! 7-8 if lucky. Storm says. Y'all, 7-8 wins? Sheesh. That's pretty good for a new regime coming up here. That's pretty darn good. We've seen it. We've seen it happen before, right? Wasn't last year we talked about 5 new coaches came up here and like 3 of them made the playoffs? It can happen. It can happen. Now I get it. On paper, per the national media, per Vegas, per non-Arizona Cardinal fans, if you look at our roster, I get it. It looks bad, right? No depth. It looks bad. I get it. Yeah, I'm right there with you. We just need some of these young guys to step up and make a name for themselves. That's what we need. We got some big names. We're pretty top heavy. I'm not going to lie to you. This roster is pretty top heavy. But if we can get some guys to make a name for themselves, right? These young guys coming out here. If Paris Johnson can be a premier tackle in the NFL, with DJ Humphries getting older, right? Maybe we can start moving DJ Humphries to right and then move Paris Johnson to left in a couple years down the road. Right? We still need a center. I get it. Rodney Hudson bled us out. Bled us everything. He just wanted the money. It was obvious. Will Hernandez is serviceable. Elijah Wilkinson, I mean, let's see. For Holt, which is going to be maybe going to be our center this year. I mean, let's be honest. He can't be worse than Rodney Hudson. Rodney Hudson was terrible. Terrible. So, let's see if a guy can actually come in here and truly believe in the culture of this new regime. That's what we're looking for. Got somebody in the chat saying 3 to 5 wins realistically. Got somebody in the chat saying 2 wins. Let's get that first overall. You can still get the first overall if the Texans are that bad. You can still get it. We'll see. I mean, there's going to be a lot of questions asked, though, because this is what we talked about on last stream with the whole Kyler Murray fans, like Kyler Murray fans over Cardinal fans. Kyler Murray fans shouldn't want the Cardinals to tank. Truly. Kyler Murray fans, if you're more of a Kyler Murray fan than you're a Cardinal fan, or you came here because of Kyler Murray, you don't want the Cardinals to tank. Trust me. Trust me when I say that. Unless you're just going to follow Kyler Murray somewhere. Then that's up to you. Because nobody's job is safe if we are a 2 or 3 win team. Nobody's job is safe. And Jonathan Gannon might get a pass, right? And that's fine. I'm not saying call for his head. No, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the players. I'm talking about the players on this roster. If we're a 2 or 3 win team, none of these players' jobs are safe. Let's just put it that way. Including Kyler. He's not going to be gone for the full season. Whoever you want to believe, you can choose to believe the media. You can choose to believe whoever you want to choose to believe. That's fine. I think Kyler Murray is coming back sooner than we think. Truly. I think so. Got somebody in the chat says 10-7 wild card playoff appearance. Y'all, if we got a playoff appearance, that took the last regime 3 years, and we get a playoff. Okay, let's go. I'm ready to roll. K1 under center is going to be huge. It's a brand new, spanking new offense. We're not going to see Kyler Murray spread out 99.9% of the time. Different formations, different things the Cardinals are going to start doing with Drew Petzing, right? Running the ball seems to be a focal point to this new regime, which is cool. I'm down with. That's what we're hoping for, right? Somebody in the chat says, I can't watch Minnesota. Oh, that sucks. You can't watch Cardinal games because you live in Minnesota. That's terrible. Well, stay tuned. Stay tuned onto the channel, my guy. I'll do my best to keep you updated. Maybe we'll do some play-by-plays here and there. We'll see, just depending on which games I decide to go to this year. Here we go. No contribution coming our way. We've got no F's given with the contribution. He says, if JG wants a new culture change, then he needs to do everything he can to win as many games as possible. I saw a glimpse in preseason. P.S. Suck it, Sean. Love it. Yes. Suck it, Sean Payton, for sure. When I posted this on my Twitter. I'm going to take a screenshot of here pretty soon. I posted this on my Twitter, and you don't know how many Denver Bronco fans came up here and they're like, oh, you're so dumb. Because they're salty, because they're bitter. They know the fact that what they saw with, what's his name? Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson looks like poop. Russell Wilson looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. And he's looked terrible for a very, very, very long time. Very long time. So any chance for us to say we beat Mr. Russell Wilson over there, it only makes me excited. So I agree with you. If you want to change the culture, we can't be settling for tanking, right? We can't be settling for tanking. So for the people out there saying we're tanking, it's not for the best interest for JG to tank. Trust me. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want to tank. He wants to win. This is what I put on my Twitter here. Now, a little, premature, maybe, right? Maybe, but I was hyped. I was hyped, y'all. Don't get it twisted. I was hyped up about winning week 1, again, especially against JG. We just beat Sean Payton. JG's my coach. No regrets. You know how many people got so bent out of shape because of this tweet here, and bent out of shape because of the idea of Sean Payton coming into town and changing everything. But Russell Wilson still stinks. It's terrible. Russell Wilson is terrible. Right now, we're rocking. We're rolling. We got a dub over Sean Payton. Yes, week 1 of preseason. I get it. Blah, 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 blah. I get it. Let us celebrate where celebration is due. Let's just let me celebrate where celebration is due. We won 1 home game. 1 home game last year. Let me celebrate where celebration is due. No regrets, ladies and gentlemen. No regrets. We'll see, though. We'll see. Got somebody in the chat says, man, this year the NFL is money hungry. Just saying, you have to pay $300 to watch NFL games along with $75 a month for you. Yeah, dude, it's getting wild, especially for the people out there that don't live in where their team is playing. It's very unfortunate. It really, really is. I used to be able to watch primetime games and preseason games on the NFL Network app. I used to be able to watch it. And now there's just so many different things out there where if you don't live in your state, you're almost kind of, or you don't live in the state, or I guess even the city of where that team is playing. Like, it's unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate. I agree. It sucks. I don't think it came out of nowhere, though. I mean, I feel like they've always been like that with the Sunday Ticket, with DirecTV. They've always kind of been like that, but now I feel like they are taking it another step up. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, yeah, it's wild out here. I mean, stay tuned to the channel. I'll keep you guys updated as much as I possibly can. All I can say, at least for Cardinals, right? That's all I can say, at least for the Cardinals. Somebody in the chat says, Hulu cut me off from watching the game, and I'm in Tucson. Oof, yeah, that's rough. That's rough. If Jonathan Gannon takes us to the playoffs, then he's going to win Coach of the Year, and Kyler will probably win Comeback Player of the Year. Oh, yeah. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I think Kyler Murray is coming back sooner than people think. Trust, I don't know. There's something that truly make me feel that Kyler Murray is coming back sooner. Kyler Murray is coming back sooner. I feel it. Maybe not week 1, or actually, I think not week 1 of regular season. I think we know that for sure. But maybe week 3, maybe week 4, maybe week 5, we might see a Kyler Murray come back. Which, heck, if we can be 1-1 heading into the Cowboys game, that's better than most people had us at, right? Because we're playing the Commanders, we're playing the Giants, and we're playing the Cowboys. Yo, I truly feel like we can at least win 2 of those games. I truly feel like we can at least win 2 of those games. If the Cardinals come out and stink it up and we lose against the Commanders, then okay, let's talk about something different, right? But I think the Cardinals have a good first 3 games. The first 3 games playing the NFC least, which I know last year they weren't the NFC least, but I just love calling them that. The Commanders, the Giants, the Cowboys. I think we have a fair chance of at least winning 2 of those games, if not 1, right? Give us some breathing room to kind of come back. Because it's not how you start, it's how you finish. We know that, right? We know that a little too well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Got some people in the chat helping some people out. Good. Awesome. Find a way to get this Cardinals on your TV for sure. Absolutely. Help each other out. I only had us winning 2 games. So they only had us winning 2 games. Yeah, I mean, they have the Cardinals right now being either 1 or 2 in the 2024 draft. And then the other one is going to be the Texans, right? That's where they have the Cardinals right now. Because of what the roster looks like. And like I said, I mean, I'm not one that says, oh, our roster is great, right? We've been talking about it on this channel for years and years that our young talent that we're supposed to be getting in the draft don't really seem to pan out. It's just this national media is now starting to kind of be a little late to the party. Best way to say it. A little late to the party. When we've been saying this for a while now. The Arizona Cardinals, I think, can be better than most people think. Not saying Super Bowl. Heck, I'm not even saying playoffs. But I do think that we can be better. Is that benefit the Arizona Cardinals? I mean, depends on how you look at it, right? If we are a good drafting team, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If we're a good drafting team, it doesn't matter. We were never a good drafting team. That's the problem. That's the problem. We weren't a good drafting team. You don't want to affect your culture with risking trying to get that 1st or 2nd overall pick. Unless you know for sure that your quarterback's not it. Right now, there's still hope for Kyler. There's still hope for Kyler. We were not a good drafting team, and that's a fact. Now, we have a little glimmer of hope. There's no point in trying to accumulate picks and getting all these people, and none of them are superstars, if none of them are starters, or if none of them are good, right? You got to hit on the picks, and you can still get a really, really talented player at 11, at 9, at 8, at 12, at 13. You could still get a really good pick. So, not trying to risk the culture here, personally. Somebody in the chat says, yo, so is everyone else healthy other than Murray with Ertz coming back? We got some other people that are out as well. Keontae Ingram, haven't really seen him very much during training camp. I think there's some people that are really leaning hope that he's going to be number 2 after James Conner, especially what happened to Marlon Mack. Najee Sanders had a hand issue. BJ Ojulari, although he's back, we haven't seen him yet. Garrett Williams, which is a draft pick that we ended up getting. I mean, for the most part, everybody looks healthier. Like Kyler is obviously out right now. We're not seeing him in preseason, as we shouldn't. And then Zach Ertz coming back. Those are the big ones, I guess. Yeah, I guess those are the big ones that we have out. So hopefully that answers your question. Somebody in the chat says, next year, we will have $80 million in cap space and 2 first-rounders. The future is bright. The future is bright indeed, but we got to hit those picks. We got to hit on those picks. It's as simple as that. You got to hit on those picks. We could have 4 first-round picks, which honestly, it's very good. It's very good, but if you don't hit them, it's a lottery. It's a lottery. You got to hit them. Future is bright indeed. I have faith Monty Austin-Ford can do very well. I kid you not, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, ladies and gentlemen. Most of the people that were drafted in this year's draft, I at least drafted them. I at least drafted 3 to 5 of them in multiple of my mock drafts. Michael Wilson, drafted him before on a mock draft. People weren't looking at him. Clayton Tune, drafted him multiple times. Garrett Williams, drafted him. BJ Ojulari, Did I draft him? I probably didn't because they had him going at number 1, and I never had the option to draft BJ Ojulari. When he did slip, I did think that he was a good option. So I'm excited. That's one thing that I'm excited about as well, because I'm giving pats on back to Monty Ellison for it with having a good draft, because most of those guys that he drafted was guys that I did on my rebuilding the Arizona Cardinal videos that we were posting back in March or February when people weren't really watching because football season was over. I never drafted Paris Johnson Jr. And the only reason why is because I was so infatuated with Will Anderson or Jalen Carter. I felt like it was 1A, 1B. I felt like that had to be it. But we saw Monty Ossenfort finagle his way to get his guy and still get another first-round pick next year. So I'm believing, I'm trusting. I have hope that we're going to be getting good at drafting, and that's what we need to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the hour mark. Definitely huge shout out to the people that did a contribution, right? New channel members that joined. We had AZ Fan, Jason, Jonathan, Alex, no F's given. Fausto became a new channel member. Appreciate you guys. Definitely. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be closing up shop here right now. If this is your first time here, subscribe to the Arizona Sports Fan. I think we just hit 12,100 subscribers. So we're just trying to get more and more. So definitely subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. Make sure you have your post notification bell on just in case we drop a next video. It gives you a notification here on YouTube. Follow me on all my social platforms. Everything is here in the description below. I put the news on there faster than making a videos. Obviously, it takes longer to make videos than making a post. So follow me on there if you want to be updated on more Cardinal news faster. Everything is going to be in the description below. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cards.